Hello everybody, welcome to my channel.
Dieter Bohlen, born February 7, 1954, in Berne, Lower Saxony, Germany, is a German musician, songwriter, producer, and television personality. Best known as one half of the iconic pop duo Modern Talking and as a longtime judge on popular TV talent shows such as Deutschland sucht den Superstar, DSDS, and Das Supertalent. Musical note: early career in Modern Talking. Bohlen began his music career in the late 1970s, working as a songwriter and producer for various German artists. His breakthrough came in 1983 when he teamed up with singer Thomas Anders to form Modern Talking, one of Europe's most successful pop duos of the 1980s. The group's debut single, You're My Heart, You're My Soul, became an international hit in 1984, topping charts across Europe and beyond. They followed it with a string of global hits such as Sherry, Lady Brother Louis, Atlantis Is Calling, SOS for Love, Geronimo's Cadillac. Modern Talking became known for their catchy melodies, polished synthpop sound, and romantic lyrics. However, personal and creative tensions led to their split in 1987. They reunited successfully in 1998, releasing several new albums and remixes before disbanding again in 2003. Headphone producing and songwriting. Beyond Modern Talking, Bohlen has had a prolific career as a producer and songwriter, creating hits for numerous artists under his label and production projects such as Blue System, his solo act formed after Modern Talking's first breakup. Blue System maintained a loyal following with songs like Sorry Little Sarah and Under My Skin. Bohlen has written and produced hundreds of songs, many of which have charted in Germany and across Europe. His music style is characterized by strong melodic hooks, emotional choruses, and a signature Euro pop sound. TV/television career. Since the early 2000s, Dieter Bohlen has become a household name in German television. He gained fame, and sometimes controversy, as a straight-talking, no-nonsense judge on RTL's talent shows, Deutschland sucht den Superstar, DSDS, the German version of Pop Idol, American Idol, Das Supertalent, the German version of Got Talent. His sharp wit, sarcastic humor, and blunt honesty made him both admired and criticized, but undeniably entertaining. He is often compared to Simon Cowell for his outspoken judging style. Books author and public figure. Bohlen has also written several autobiographical books, including Nichts als die Wahrheit, Nothing But the Truth, which became a bestseller in Germany. In his writings and interviews, he often reflects on his career, fame, and experiences in the music industry. Trophy legacy. Dieter Bohlen is considered one of the most successful German pop producers of all time, with over 100 million records sold worldwide as a performer, songwriter, and producer. His influence on European pop music is immense, shaping the sound of the 1980s and inspiring generations of artists and producers. Speech balloon. Personal life. Bohlen is known for his energetic personality, disciplined work ethic, and direct communication style. He lives in Tottensen near Hamburg and continues to work on various music and media projects. Dieter Bohlen, the titan of German pop. Early life and education. Dieter Günther Bohlen was born on February 7, 1954, in Berne, Lower Saxony, West Germany. He grew up in a modest, middle-class family. From a young age, Bohlen showed an extraordinary interest in music, teaching himself guitar and piano and writing his first songs as a teenager. He attended the University of Göttingen, where he studied economics, but his real passion remained music. During his student years, he began writing songs for other artists and sending demos to record companies, determined to break into the industry. The road to success. Bohlen's persistence paid off in the late 1970s when he was hired by Hansa Records in Berlin as a songwriter and producer. He wrote songs for Schlager, German pop artists and gained valuable experience in studio production. In 1983, he met Thomas Anders, a young singer with a smooth voice, and proposed forming a duo. The result was Modern Talking, which would soon dominate European pop charts. Modern Talking, a global phenomenon. Modern Talking's debut single, You're My Heart, You're My Soul, 1984, became an instant hit, reaching number 1 in 35 countries. It was followed by a streak of massive hits, You Can Win If You Want, 1985, Sherry Lady, 1985, Brother Louie, 1986, Atlantis Is Calling, SOS for Love, 1986. Their style combined catchy synth melodies, romantic lyrics, and Bohlen's layered production. Inspired by Italo disco and Euro pop trends, Modern Talking sold over 60 million records worldwide during their initial run, 1984 to 1987. Despite their success, tension between Bohlen and Anders grew over creative control and personal differences. The duo split in 1987, just as their fame peaked. Blue System and solo projects. After the breakup, Bohlen immediately launched his solo project Blue System, in which he took full creative control as singer, songwriter, and producer. Blue System produced a series of albums between 1987 and 1997, including hits such as Sorry Little Sarah, Under My Skin, Magic Symphony, My Bed Is Too Big. While Blue System never achieved Modern Talking's global success, it cemented Bohlen's reputation as a self-sufficient pop craftsman. The Modern Talking reunion in 1998, Bohlen and Anders reunited after more than a decade apart. The comeback single, You're My Heart, You're My Soul, 98, topped charts again and introduced Modern Talking to a new generation. They released 5 more studio albums between 1998 and 2003. All achieving commercial success in Europe. However, internal conflicts resurfaced, leading to their second and final split in 2003. The master producer beyond his own performances, Bohlen became one of Germany's most prolific music producers. He wrote and produced hits for a wide range of artists, including CC Catch, 'Cause You Are Young, Heaven and Hell, Chris Norman, Midnight Lady, a UK #1 hit, Bonnie Tyler, Bitter Blue, Andrea Berg, Du hast mich tausendmal belegen, a massive Schlager hit. Bohlen's songwriting catalog exceeds 1,000 compositions, and his total record sales are estimated to surpass 100 million units globally. Television fame and pop culture icon. In 2002, Bohlen joined the jury of Deutschland sucht den Superstar, DSDS, Germany's version of American Idol. His sharp tongue, brutal honesty, and sarcastic humor quickly made him the show's most talked-about personality. He later became a judge on Das Supertalent, Germany's Got Talent, and other RTL shows, shaping the careers of many young singers. His catchphrases and humor made him both a controversial critic and a beloved entertainer. Bohlen's judging style is often compared to Simon Cowell, though Bohlen adds a uniquely German blend of irony and blunt realism. Author and entrepreneur. Bohlen is also a best-selling author. His 2002 autobiography, Nichts als die Wahrheit, Nothing But the Truth, topped German book charts and offered candid insights into his life, fame, and relationships. He followed it with sequels and humorous self-help books on success, creativity, and confidence. He has also invested in real estate, production companies, and brand endorsements, maintaining a multi-million euro fortune. Musical style and influence. Bohlen's trademark sound blends, Synth-pop melodies, romantic or nostalgic lyrics, danceable beats, polished production. He is often credited with defining the Euro disco sound of the 1980s and influencing later genres like Eurodance and Schlager pop. His approach to songwriting, simple but emotionally direct, has proven timeless. Personal life: Dieter Bohlen has been married and divorced multiple times and has several children. He currently lives near Hamburg, leading a disciplined and private lifestyle focused on work, fitness, and family. Despite his fame, Bohlen avoids excess. He is known for his workaholic discipline, waking early, composing daily, and maintaining a structured routine. Controversies and public image: Bohlen's blunt remarks and ego-driven persona have sparked numerous controversies. He has clashed with fellow artists, journalists, and even his DSDS colleagues. Yet, his confidence and humor have kept him in the public spotlight for over 4 decades. While critics call him arrogant, fans admire his authenticity, wit, and honesty, traits that have made him a cultural icon in Germany. Legacy: few artists have dominated the German pop landscape as completely as Dieter Bohlen. As a composer, producer, performer, author, and TV personality, he remains one of the most successful figures in European entertainment history. He has earned countless gold and platinum awards, been honored for lifetime achievement, and inspired generations of musicians who grew up with his songs. Dieter Bohlen's motto could be summed up as, "If you want success, you must work harder than anyone else, and never lose your melody." Dieter Bohlen, the sound of a generation. Origins: from a small town to big dreams. Dieter Günther Bohlen was born on February 7, 1954, in Berne, a small village near Oldenburg in Lower Saxony, West Germany. His father worked as an agricultural engineer, his mother was a homemaker. Life in rural post-war Germany was simple. But young Dieter had big dreams. He wanted more than the quiet countryside could offer. From early childhood, he was fascinated by sound. He listened to the Beatles, ABBA, and the Bee Gees, studying their harmonies and song structures. By age 12, he was writing songs and experimenting with a tape recorder, recording melodies over his own guitar lines. After finishing school, he studied economics at the University of Göttingen, not because he wanted to work in business, but because his parents insisted he get a serious education. Yet even during his university years, he was already mailing demo tapes to record labels. Many were rejected, but he never stopped. That stubbornness would become the core of his career. Early industry years. The hard way up: in the late 1970s, Bohlen finally broke into the music industry as a composer and producer for Hansa Records in Berlin, a major label known for its pop and disco acts. He started by writing songs for German Schlager artists like Bernhard Brink and Roland Kaiser, developing a feel for catchy melodies and mass-market appeal. His early hits were modest, but they gave him confidence in one simple formula: keep the hook simple. The melody must get stuck in your head after 20 seconds. This formula, deceptively simple yet musically precise, would later become the backbone of modern talking's sound. 3. The birth of modern talking: in 1983, Hansa introduced Bohlen to Thomas Anders, a 20-year-old singer from Koblenz. Anders had a soft voice and a romantic image, the perfect frontman for Bohlen's songs. Their first single, You're My Heart, You're My Soul, 1984, was produced on a modest budget, using a Roland Juno synthesizer and Lindrum machine. When it hit the radio, it exploded, climbing to number 1 in 35 countries, including Germany, Austria, and Sweden. Suddenly, Bohlen and Anders were superstars. Modern Talking became Europe's biggest pop duo. Between 1984 and 1987, they released 5 consecutive albums. The first album, Let's Talk About Love, Ready for Romance, In the Middle of Nowhere, and Romantic Warriors. Each included global hits: Sherry, Sherry Lady, 1985, Brother Louie, 1986, Atlantis is Calling, SOS. For Love, 1986, Bohlen wrote, arranged, and produced everything. His signature elements, emotional synth chords, choral backing vocals, and polished disco beats, became the sound of mid-80s Europe. Modern Talking sold over 60 million records in just 4 years, rivaling ABBA and Wham! In popularity across the continent. IV. Breakup and reinvention behind the glittering success, however, tensions brewed. Bohlen, the perfectionist producer, often clashed with Anders over image, music style, and personal freedom. In 1987, after a series of disagreements, and Bohlen's growing frustration with tabloid stories about Anders's private life, Modern Talking abruptly split. Bohlen was devastated, but not defeated. Within months, he launched his new solo project, Blue System, in which he finally had total creative control. Blue System's music was more masculine, darker, and more electronic. It combined Bohlen's signature melodic sense with deeper synth layers and rock influences. Songs like Magic Symphony, My Bed Is Too Big, and Love Suite became radio hits in Germany, keeping him at the top of the charts well into the 1990s. For 10 years, from 1987 to 1997, Blue System released 13 albums, all written and produced by Bohlen himself. Even without the global fame of Modern Talking, he maintained a steady and loyal fanbase. The producer behind the stars at the same time. Bohlen became one of Europe's most in-demand songwriters and producers. He created hit after hit for international stars, including CC Catch. He wrote nearly all her hits, "'Cause You Are Young," "Heaven and Hell," and crafted her image as the female face of Euro disco. Chris Norman, the power ballad, "Midnight Lady," 1986, topped UK and European charts. Bonnie Tyler, albums Bitter Blue, 1991, and Angel Heart, 1992, revived her career. Andrea Berg, with her Bohlen entered the German Schlager world, producing some of the genre's biggest hits. He also composed theme songs for films and TV shows, and by the mid-1990s, his catalog had earned him dozens of gold and platinum awards. Modern Talking, the comeback in 1998, Bohlen and Anders surprised the world by reuniting. Their comeback single, You're My Heart, You're My Soul, 98, became a #1 hit again, 14 years after the original. The new Modern Talking adopted a more dance-oriented sound, mixing Eurodance with 1980s nostalgia. Albums like Back for Good, 1998, Alone, 1999, and Year of the Dragon, 2000, sold millions, proving their timeless appeal. But by 2003, personal and creative conflicts returned. Bohlen announced the final breakup, this time, for good. "It's over forever," he said, focusing fully on television and production. Television legend, The Judge with the Sharp Tongue in 2002. Bohlen joined Deutschland sucht den Superstar, DSDS, Germany's version of American Idol. His sarcastic humor, brutally honest criticism, and quick one-liners made him an instant sensation. Some saw him as harsh, others loved his candor. Either way, he made DSDS the most watched show in Germany for years. Later, he became a judge on Das Supertalent, Germany's Got Talent, mentoring singers, dancers, and performers. His presence often determined a contestant's fate. A yes from Bohlen carried enormous weight. Despite controversies, including occasional media feuds and public disputes with other judges, his authenticity and success record made him one of the most influential figures in German entertainment. 8. The author, philosopher, and public persona Bohlen's autobiography, Nichts als die Wahrheit, Nothing But the Truth, released in 2002, became a runaway bestseller. It sold over 1 million copies, a rare feat for a German musician. In it, Bohlen discussed not only his rise and fall in the music business but also his philosophy of life, work discipline, emotional honesty, and a refusal to give up. He followed it with more books like Hinter den Kulissen, Behind the Scenes, filled with humor and self-irony. Bohlen is also known for his minimalist and disciplined lifestyle. He avoids alcohol, wakes up early, exercises daily, and claims to work on music every morning. He once said, "The secret is simple. I never stop. You can't wait for inspiration, you have to create it." Controversy and character. Bohlen's bluntness often made headlines. He's been sued, criticized, and mocked, yet always returned stronger. To his fans, his confidence represents authenticity in an industry full of fakes. To his critics, he's arrogant and old-fashioned. Still, no one denies his impact. Few German artists have stayed relevant across 5 decades. His songs have survived countless musical trends, from disco to Eurodance to streaming. Legacy today. Dieter Bohlen is considered a living legend of German pop music. With over 100 million records sold, hundreds of chart hits, and decades of television influence, his legacy is unparalleled. He remains active, occasionally producing, performing, and appearing on special shows. Younger generations still discover his music on YouTube, TikTok, and Spotify, where modern talking's hits continue to stream millions of times yearly. Even after 40 years, You're My Heart, You're My Soul still fills dance floors, a timeless melody that captures the optimism of the 1980s. 11. The man behind the music, behind the fame. Bohlen is known as a perfectionist and family man. He lives near Hamburg with his partner Karina Walls and their children, enjoying a quieter life surrounded by music and nature. He often says he's not interested in awards or fame anymore. "My reward is when a song I wrote makes someone happy. That's all that counts." Epilogue. Dieter Bohlen's story is one of relentless drive, creative passion, and belief in melody above all. He is not just a musician. He is an architect of modern pop, a builder of sounds that define generations, and a symbol of how far determination can take a dreamer from a small German village. He once summed up his career perfectly: "I started with nothing, no money, no contacts, no chance. But I had melodies in my head. And I never gave up." 12. The architect of melody. Dieter Bohlen's musical DNA. 1. Songwriting genius. Simplicity as power. Dieter Bohlen's songwriting philosophy revolves around one rule: a song must hit the heart in 20 seconds. Unlike composers who rely on complexity, Bohlen builds songs around strong emotional hooks, clear structure, and melody repetition. A classic Bohlen song, like You're My Heart, You're My Soul, or Sherry, Sherry Lady, usually follows a formula. A short intro, instantly recognizable synth riff, verse in a lower register, a pre-chorus rising in pitch and tension, a soaring chorus repeated at least 3 times. This structure became a blueprint for Europop and Eurodance through the late 1980s and 1990s. It influenced not only European producers but also K-pop and Russian pop decades later, where melody and catchiness take precedence over lyrics. Bohlen once said, "Music is mathematics for the heart. If the numbers are right, emotions follow." This mix of German precision and emotional intuition made him a master hitmaker. 2. The studio magician. Technology meets emotion. Bohlen was among the first German producers to fully embrace the synthesizer revolution of the 1980s. He used early analog synths like the Roland Juno 60, Prophet 5, and Oberheim Ob Z to create the lush, dreamy textures that defined modern talking. He later adopted digital workstations, layering electronic and acoustic instruments to make songs sound big without being cluttered. Every note was intentional. Even backing vocals were carefully constructed. Bohlen often sang them himself, recording multiple harmonies to achieve modern talking's signature choir sound. His technical discipline mirrored his personality: perfectionist, controlled, always aiming for clean sound and emotional clarity. 3. The businessman behind the hits. Beyond creativity, Bohlen is a sharp entrepreneur. He understood early that control over publishing and production rights meant freedom and long-term income. By the 1980s, he had his own publishing company. Later, through projects like Blue Obsession Studios, he oversaw production, mastering, and even artist management. He also built strategic partnerships with TV and record labels, turning his name into a brand. When he joined DSDS, it wasn't only as a judge, it was as a brand expansion. Many winners released their debut albums under Bohlen's production, generating both artistic and financial synergy. His instinct for branding anticipated what the modern music business now calls the 360-degree model, controlling every part of the creative and commercial chain. 4. Influence on European pop culture. In Germany and across Europe, Dieter Bohlen became more than a musician, he became a cultural archetype. To some, he embodies the self-made man, blunt, confident, endlessly productive. To others, he's a relic of 80s kitsch. But his influence is undeniable. Modern talking's romantic, upbeat,
Bye bye. Thanks for watching. Bye.